Forward to that for sure. Thanks very much, Steve. Well, Governor Cuomo got some very bad news today. The EPA turned down his request for close to $500 million to help pay for the construction of the new Tappan Zee Bridge. The agency ruled that only $29 million of his request met federal requirements. The replacement bridge itself carries a nearly $4 billion price tag. Environmentalists had charged that using environmental funds to pay for part of it would take the money away from real environmental projects. The state DOT commissioner had argued that the funds would help ensure that the bridge was built in an environmentally friendly manner, but the state says the EPA is wrong and will appeal. Weighing Can you hear me? You can now. I think I disappeared for a second, yeah.
The sound cut out on me for a second. But listen, this is really a blow to the governor, but also to the people of New York. If this stands, and keep in mind that this is President Obama's U.S. EPA. This is not just some sort of objective agency out there. This is a Democratic-controlled federal agency weighing in on a key piece of a Democratic governor's plan for this massive bridge that he hasn't told anybody how much it's going to cost to get across. For the U.S. EPA to do this is a heck of a blow to the governor and the state, because he's got to come up with the money some other way. That means more indebtedness of New York, high debt payments, or at least debt payments that wouldn't otherwise be paid, and it really, redounds to the disadvantage of the state of New York.
A spokesman for the New York State Department said, though, that this was basically no big deal, to wildly paraphrase, that it wasn't that much of the whole total cost to make a big difference.
Well, last I knew, there's $500 million is about 12% of $4 billion, maybe even a little bit higher. That's a huge amount of money. Maybe when it's other people's money, they don't take it that seriously. But also, it's ironic because today we have the environmental groups, as you know, celebrating, cheering this. But you also have the Republicans weighing in, saying, we told you so. The governor acted irresponsibly. And as I noted a couple of seconds ago, he still hasn't told the people in that area, and that's a heavily traveled area, obviously, between Rockland County and Westchester County, how much the toll is going to be on the bridge. It's kind of like a decision on hydrofracking. They're keeping it secret, it appears, until at least after the election.
So if you're stuck coming up with the better part of $500 million now, how do you do it?
Well, they just sell more bonds. These are throughway bonds that are going to be sold, but it also suggests that the toll is going to have to be even higher than the toll that was going to be with the federal money coming in, and we don't even know what that amount is, but a lot of people living in that area are quite fearful that it's going to be extraordinarily high.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at, that, you know, there's already been criticism that this thing is going to be out of control for people who take that bridge all the time, and we don't know where it's going now.
Let me mention one thing just quickly. A local person, I'm sure you know the name Judith Enck, who was an activist environmentalist who had served in the Spitzer administration. She is the Region 2 EPA administrator for this whole region. So it was her office down in New York City, and she heads it, that is put its name on this decision, notifying the Democratic governor, and she's a well-known Democrat herself, that he was wrong in claiming this federal money.
All right, we'll see where it goes next. They say they're appealing. We'll certainly let you know if, in fact, they're successful or not, for that matter. And don't forget, you can hear Fred's radio program live from the state capitol every weekday morning, 10 to 11 on Talk 1300 AM.